We're gonna go through my props kit today. Now, a little backstory here. I put this thing together originally when I was working for that brick and tile maker. When I was shooting for them, I would go into spaces a lot of times that weren't staged. There was no designer with me, and essentially it was just an empty house, and the photos were pretty lifeless. And so as I'm looking at these spaces through the eyes of a product company, trying to use the images to market their company, they just seemed too boring. You know, they weren't engaging for the viewers. So I started looking at what other companies were doing in terms of how they had their images staged. And so I put together a handful of things that I could bring into just about any space to add just a little bit of life to it. So this box stays with me on any shoot that I do for an interior designer, builder, product company. Let's dive in. First off, we have a wooden cutting board. You can spend a couple dollars to bring a loaf of bread. You can grab some veggies from the fridge where you're at if they have them. You can bring your own fruit or fake fruit. You can throw a knife on here, or you can just lean it up against the backsplash in the kitchen. Word of advice, if you go to Amazon to buy a cutting board, make sure you check the measurements. I accidentally bought 2 of them that showed up and they were way too small and looked ridiculous. I have another cutting board in here that I had in my kitchen and never used, so I bring that. Don't think I've ever used that one though. Here's a good one, wooden utensils. This is just a nice little set that you can set next to the stove in a kitchen. You know, it's got a handful of wooden utensils and comes in a little box. Is this good content? So we got a little box here. You can just sit this next to the stove and it looks great. Again, bamboo is just kind of a neutral color palette. It goes with just about anything. Then we have a cast iron pot. The reason why I do cast iron is because I used to bring a big metal shiny pot from my kitchen and there's always reflections in it. I don't want myself or the camera or any flashes in reflection. So a nice flat back black pot. Again, it'll go with anything, it won't show reflections. In here, I've got 3 fake lemons. These things look pretty real. One of them you can see is banged up from being in the box and getting smashed. So a word of advice is be careful of how you pack your box so you don't smash your items. You can get these, on Amazon. We have them in the link there. I actually picked those up from a designer client of mine that just gave them to me after she was done with the shoot. A couple of interesting ones. These hats, again, neutral color palette. You can hang these by a front door if there's like a little hook. You can throw them on a chair in a bedroom. I shot a lot of outdoor spaces with like pools and patios, and you could hang these on a chair or like, lay them on a lounge chair or something. So those come in handy as well. This one I've used a handful of times. Got a brush you can put in the bathroom. But just while going through the box today, I realized how flat it got. So I'm gonna actually have to throw this out and get a new one. Again, be careful how you pack your box. Turkish towel. It took me a while to figure out what this was called, but this kind of towel is called a Turkish towel. You can buy that on Amazon as well. Again, neutral color palette will go with just about anywhere. You can drape it over the sink in a kitchen. You can throw it on the counter. You can fold it and hang it on an appliance. Works great. Side note on the Turkish towels, we actually included a link to a multicolor pack of towels as well. So if you want to have the variety so that it matches different things, you can check out that link and buy a set of different colored ones. Moving along, white bowl. Again, you can put fruit in here. You can stack up some lemons, or if you want to buy veggies, or if the homeowners already have some apples you can throw in here. Again, neutral, you can throw it up on the counter, goes with anything. What doesn't go with anything necessarily is big green bottles of water. But these look nice. You can put these as a set on the counter. You can put up one with a glass. If you don't like the green though, I also do include, let's see, where is it? It's in the bottom, a white one. This has gotten a little bit ripped. You can Photoshop that out or you can buy a new one. But just in case you want something that isn't so bright and green. However, a lot of times a green pop in a kitchen actually makes for a nice photo. One of my favorite items, the fake Aesop soap bottles. So Aesop soap is a very expensive high-end brand of soap. It costs like 70 bucks for a bottle or something. So I got 2 bottles that look very similar. They're empty, they don't weigh much. You can put these in a kitchen or a bathroom, and it just gives that space a little bit of a high-end look. So we have a link to those as well. Also, if you want a real bottle of Aesop, maybe if you're doing close-up shots, we have a link to one of those as well. Now we have a dry brush. So this is just a cool little thing that you can put in a bathroom. I'll be honest, I don't even know what this is used for. My wife has one. I think she like rubs it on her body or something, but it looks cool in a bathroom, so you can have one of those. Again, be careful. This one's getting a little beat up in my box, so careful how you pack everything. Hand towel and washcloth, white, new, fluffy. You can roll them up in a bathroom if you need to hang it somewhere. Just nice and plain, simple. I don't know if anybody uses rolling pins anymore. Maybe these are just in the cartoons, but every once in a while I'll throw this up on the counter if a kitchen's like super empty and it just needs a little something extra in there. We've got a bar of soap here with some color in it if you want to add a splash of color to the space. This one's orange, but we have a link to a variety pack that has a bunch of colors you can choose from. So it doesn't hurt to have multiple colors to pick from. Cookbook, you can put this in a kitchen, you can lay it down flat, you can open it, you can lean it up against the backsplash. This one is a vegetarian Bible. When I turned vegan, I bought this, never used it one time, but now it's getting some use because now I use it in my photo shoots. A couple more things in here, guys. This I believe I used one time because I knew I was going to a bathroom that was like very small, and I literally went outside and just snapped a few branches off of a neighbor's tree and stuck them in here. If you try to do that with a flower, it's going to die really quick. I learned that the hard way. But a tip I learned from a designer actually was just snap a few twigs or a branch off of a tree nearby and put them in something like this, and you add a little bit of life to your space. Getting down to the bottom of the box here. Sandals. I've got a couple different pair of sandals. Colorful flip-flops and some kind of brown ones. These look a little bit more classy. Again, use it with your hat. You can put these hanging up by the front door, take these off by the front door, and then you've just staged a little scene where it looks like a lady just came home from work and is getting ready to go out on the town. If you want to add flip-flops and maybe sunglasses out to an outdoor pool space or a patio, you can add that. Again, just things to add some life to your images. Doorstop that I left out of my other camera bag. I always carry these around in case you need it. Don't think I ever used this, but a stager once gave it to me after she was done with it, and I keep it in here. Also, the towels are good for padding this stuff. We've got the cast iron pot, we've got the couple of glass items, so you can use your towels as padding. And one empty bottle. My wife used to use this to brew kombucha or something, and I just took it. A couple of times I've used it as an outdoor space in a patio, and put some water in there, just tap water, set it up, just to add a little something to the shot. I've got bubble wrap, again to help wrap things. You don't want to break those glass bottles filled with water. And one more throw, again, that I don't know if I've ever used this, but after I was done with the shoot one time, a stager just said, "Oh, do you want this?" Keep it in here, it helps keep the box padded up. As you can see, I've got about 30 items here, and none of it's very expensive. It all fits into a nice little Tupperware that's pretty easy to put in the back seat or the trunk of your car when you bring to photo shoots, but it does a lot for us. First of all, when I show up to a photo shoot with this, it kind of adds value to me as a photographer. My clients feel that I'm professional, they feel I'm prepared. I have design clients that literally bring a whole truckload full of props and staging items, and we still end up using stuff out of this box during those shoots. Also, by using these props, I have actually been able to license a lot of photos, and I'm not saying I wouldn't be able to license them without the props, but it definitely helps. Again, it helps bring the photo to life. It helps the viewer kind of imagine themselves there a little bit, and for very little work, you can just kind of up the quality of your images.